So STFU Bishoyov 666 joined the server. Player Matt Bishoyov 666 dual sandness, so y'all can talk about the price. Dragon _ Macer S Supreme Arish 252525 sandness. Do you have Wither Grant? You can't break blocks here. Type /RTP to join survival world. Supreme Arish 252525 buying Wither Grant offering 310M and more. Player Matt Bishoyov 666 dual sandness, so y'all can talk about the price. Soul Farmers Wither Chickna 9 Marco _ TS Pearls H Dragon _ Macers S3 Ka Bad Shagot NHI Slow down to enter sandness. Bishoyov 666 not free right now. Wait. Connecting to BW lobby 1. Player Malek _ Nabil rightward arrow is 7A. Create a private party and play only with your friends. Type /party private. Player says up rightward arrow, don't do that. Player RA1DX7 rightward arrow, I'm new. Player says up rightward arrow, don't do that. Player Diamond Mendic 12 just slid into the server. Player on shit no gang rightward arrow, anyone need party? Bedwars player Ubidazar 51 has joined 24/24. Bedwars starting in 10 seconds. Bedwars player Good 77 has left 23/24. Bedwars player Artemka 493 has joined 24/24. Bedwars starting in 5 seconds. Bedwars starting in 4 seconds. Bedwars starting in 3 seconds. Bedwars starting in 2 seconds. Bedwars starting in 1 second. Bedwars. Protect your bed and destroy the enemy beds. Buy powerful upgrades for iron, gold, diamonds, and emeralds to become impregnable. Only the strongest team will win. You're playing on mc.minebury.org. Bedwars Artemka 493 has left. You bought Wool X16. Bedwars Rickroll Steve fell into the void. Bedwars Makarika was knocked into the void by Dhruv Patel 2006. Bedwars Sensiv fell into the void. Bedwars Dhruv Patel 2006 was knocked into the void by Makarika. Bedwars Sperma 228147 was knocked into the void by D4RK101. Bedwars CAT Legend YT1 was knocked into the void by D4RK101. Bedwars D4RK101 was killed by Chuck _ Norris _ 002. Bedwars Sperma 228147 fell into the void. You bought wooden planks X16. You bought wool X16. Bedwars CAC 103 was killed by DARK Urjay. Bedwars Rickroll Steve was killed by Harshavardhan _ 99 _ Bedwars Yellow Bed was destroyed by Bimson. Bedwars CAT Legend YT1 was killed by D4RK101. Bedwars Chuck _ Norris _ 002 fell into the void. Bedwars Bimson was killed by M1GA1371. Bedwars Aqua Bed was destroyed by Abels and Dre. Bedwars D4RK101 was killed by Ubidazar 51. Bedwars Abels and Dre fell into the void. Bedwars Harshavardhan _ 99 _ was knocked into the void by Makarika. Anti-flood administrator muted D4RK101 for 8 hours with reason. 5.2. Bedwars LOL 675262 was knocked into the void by Supermech. Bedwars Supermech was knocked into the void by LOL 675262. Bedwars CAT Legend YT1 was killed by Wind1 SE444. Bedwars Dhruv Patel 2006 was knocked into the void by Rickroll Steve. Bedwars Wind1 SE444 was knocked into the void by Chuck _ Norris _ 002. Bedwars Chuck _ Norris _ 002 fell into the void. Bedwars Jutop 123 was knocked into the void by Bimson. Bedwars DARK Urjake was killed by Bimson. Bedwars Ubidazar 51 fell into the void. Bedwars Lucky Jew TT was knocked into the void by Sensiv. Bedwars Sensiv was knocked into the void by Lucky Jew TT. Bedwars D4RK101 fell into the void. Bedwars Segmead has left. Bedwars Team Aqua has been eliminated. Bedwars M1GA1371 was killed by Bimzin. Bedwars CAT Legend YT1 fell into the void. U-Bot Will X16. Bedwars LOL 675262 was knocked into the void by Sensive. Bedwars Rickroll Steve fell into the void. Bedwars Wind 1 SE444 was knocked into the void by Ubidazzer 51. Bedwars Chuck Norris 002 has left. Bedwars D4RK101 fell into the void. Bedwars Sperma 2281487 was killed by CAT Legend YT1. Bedwars LOL 675262 fell into the void. Bedwars Ubidazzer 51 fell into the void. Bedwars D4RK101 fell into the void. Bedwars Sensive was knocked into the void by Lucky 2TT. U-Bot Wooden Planks X16. U-Bot Wool X16. Bedwars Kardovia FXYT fell into the void. Bedwars CAT Legend YT1 was knocked into the void by D4RK101. Bedwars Diamond Generator have been upgraded to level I. Bedwars Ubidazzer 51 was killed by Wind 1 SE444. Bedwars D4RK101 was killed by CAT Legend YT1. Bedwars Makarika was knocked into the void by Kardovia FXY.